I was just talking about the rise in anti-Semitism, and I I was thinking a little bit further after I posted the video, and somebody had pointed out that I should say something about Jewish education. I think I should say something about the um, the commands to educate that pepper the Hebrew scriptures from um, Abraham. Uh, God says that Abraham is dear to him because he will command his children and his household to follow in the ways of the Lord, to do charity and justice. So education is practical. Education has a practical aspect from the very beginning, from the very foundations of the Jewish tradition. The same with Moses. Teach your children. And the Pesach, the Passover meal, the central part of that is a teaching process. The story of the Passover. One of the principles of Judaism is reading, and I remember very clearly the sight of a small boy being brought into school and covered in a tallis, and so that his first vision of the schoolroom was a vision of the Aleph base, the alphabet, and his father put his finger in a tub of honey, and the boy licked the honey, and his father read Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. And I thought that was the most wonderful idea, that education is a sweet experience, but education starts young, and education is part of developing the traditions and passing on these traditions. Something that the secular world has picked up, but we should acknowledge where it comes from. And I think the key events in Jewish history need to be in the historical syllabus, in the history syllabuses of our schools. The destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70 or 70 CE, that definitive, that key moment. The Holocaust, of course, the Shoah, another key moment, but also the persecution of an entire people is a key concept, and this should be taught early on in schools. I think also Judaism, like Christianity and Islam and Buddhism, gives us the most wonderful insight into ceremony and esoterica, the interesting alleyways, the Kabbalism. I think is wonderful, and I can remember doing lessons with gematria and with quite young children. If each letter has a numerical equivalent, then suddenly your teaching of religious studies becomes a teaching of mathematics. You've got maths into the curriculum, and I simply think we are missing a trick, and it's a plea, really, from me to religious education to be better than it is, and we should not be turning our noses up at religion because it's not ours, and we certainly shouldn't be turning our noses up at religion because we think we're too secular for it. Our civilization, our history is founded on religious belief, and we spurn it at a great price. And the price, I think, is prejudice, ignorance, and people who can't express support for people, for those in need, without hurting others. And there is no reason at all why the support of the Palestinian community should have generated a rise in anti-Semitism. No reason at all. And it's simply a matter of ignorance and a lack of kindness and a lack of consideration and a lack of forethought for your neighbour. And the idea that there's a whole community feeling frightened in Britain fills me with horror. And it is shameful, utterly shameful. And particularly as we're approaching Ramadan, it's something I think communities across the UK, both religious and non-religious, should bear in mind, and should bear in mind that, you know, there used to be a tradition in so many religious communities of respecting the religious buildings of different traditions, even if you don't go into those buildings, to respect them, to respect the commitment of other people. And we need to encourage that. That needs to be a central principle of children's education, that we respect other people's religious traditions, including the tradition of atheism, which is very important. It must be respected. We must respect people's beliefs and the extent of those beliefs. Belief isn't something you just do at the weekend. Belief is something that, if it is deeply held, informs and enriches and dictates the way you live your life.